All right, what's going on, everyone? Good morning and happy hump day. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. I can already smell the turkey, the sweet potatoes, the Cabernet. I am ready. Yeah, exactly, Lorna. Exactly. What's up, Mirza? Good morning, Lorna. Good morning, Art. Good morning, Stick. Andrew. All right, y'all, we'll jump in. Now, usually, not always, but usually, things can be a little bit quiet ahead of a holiday, ahead of a market close kind of day. With that being said, you got a little hourly squeeze action here in the S&P futures. So in most situations, we get the positive momentum cross. We got some good structure. We got the hourly buy signal. And then everything inside of it checks out as well. 30-minute buy signal, 15-minute buy signal, and a 5-minute. So yeah, in most situations, you get an hourly squeeze of the buy signal. You run that through the X-ray machine, and the 30-minute, the 15-minute, the 5-minute checkout. That should fire to the upside. Actually, a good example. So we had the same exact setup on the hourly chart back here. Momentum crosses, you got a squeeze, you got a buy signal. Here's the key. All that does is just simply set the stage for what might be a nice push. That's all that really does. You got good structure, you got some momentum, you got a squeeze, you got all the pretty colors. All right, perfect. Now, as long as that prints, the stage is set for a nice push. What's going to light the fuse would be those lower time frame buy signals. So, this morning, if you're buying calls or you're looking for a push higher out of this hourly squeeze, you're pretty much looking for the same move you had back here. So what I like to look at is, all right, last time I had an hourly squeeze, before and during that squeeze firing to the upside, what's going on the 30-minute chart? And then I want to see if things line up the same right now. So before and during that big hourly squeeze, if we check the old 30-minute, so there's your 30-minute signals before and during that hourly squeeze. And you had the buy signal. Right now, the 30-minute shapes up the same fashion. So that's on the same page. And then you take it a step further. You check the 15-minute, and before and during that hourly squeeze taken off, what's going on in the 15? And sure enough, you're going to have that 15-minute buy signal. So if you took my class back in August, that was pretty much the focus of the entire class, right? You find a big 3 squeeze on one time frame. Could be a weekly, could be a daily chart, could be a 15-minute, could be a 2-minute. You find a squeeze on one time frame. If that squeeze prints a buy signal, now the stage is set. You are not going to get anything from that squeeze until your lower time frames line up. So that visual template is pretty much picture perfect this morning on the futures. Hourly squeeze with a buy signal. I check the 30-minute. 30-minute is looking ready. Check the 15-minute. The 15-minute is ready to go. The 5-minute is locked and loaded. So yeah, it's a little tricky before a holiday. But again, usually we should see a breakout. So for those of y'all in the mastery, we're long Google and we're long Tesla. If this does fire long and we break out today, that should be great for our 2 trades. So something for y'all to keep an eye on there. And then we'll just kind of review a couple of the swing setups. We have Google and Tesla. We're actually going to start here with Amazon, because Amazon might be the next one I want to get. So let me see. And like everything, for all these swing trade ideas, it all kind of starts and ends with that weekly squeeze. You've got that in the QQQ. You've got it here in Amazon. We've got one in Microsoft, in Meta, Netflix, AMD, NVIDIA. the semiconductors, Broadcom, whole lot of weekly squeezing. All right, so let me go throw this on here. Big 3 target. All right. So the weekly squeeze is the foundation of the idea. Squeeze gives us compression. So we already know since, let me see. So the squeeze tells us since late September, Amazon's gearing up for a big move. All right. Could be long, it could be short, but that's what the squeeze tells us. Building up all kinds of energy, getting ready for a big push. Now that we've got the buy signal here, probabilities points towards it should be a big move, and it should be a big move to the upside. Structure is perfect. Momentum looks good. The moving averages look good. Now, interestingly enough, the last time we had a weekly squeeze, we actually never had a buy signal. I mean, and look what that bad boy did. Takes Amazon from $100 to about $1.40. So last time we had a weekly squeeze, that was good enough for a 40% push. And I'm not claiming Amazon's going to go up another 40%. All I'm trying to say is, with that buy signal printing, the current weekly squeeze is a bit more aligned for a big push than the previous weekly squeeze. Got a little bit more ammunition, a little bit more to work with. So I think that's all kinds of good stuff. So yeah, that's the foundation of the idea. As long as Amazon's in a weekly squeeze and as long as that buy signal prints, we should look for a push towards 155, 160. Now, what I also like here, unlike Microsoft, unlike QQQ, Amazon's not actually too far from that daily 21. So right now, I think the QQQ it's 3 or 4% above the daily 21. It's got a great looking weekly squeeze. It's not my favorite spot to buy it on the daily chart. Amazon, you've got the weekly squeeze, and you're pretty much right on top of that daily 21. So, that usually offers a bit more of a favorable entry. And that I think what could trigger the whole push, it may be not today, maybe not Friday, but I think you really want to watch the 4-hour squeeze. That could light the fuse of the whole push. Right, you've got the 4-hour squeeze, 4-hour buy signal, and you've got it right where you want it, A+ setup. So where I think I'll take the entry on that, and I got some notes here. Let's see. So Amazon weekly squeeze play, or weekly squeeze setup. We got a 4-hour squeeze and a buy signal. So my entry at long on the first hourly close above the hourly 21 EMA, which could happen today, could happen Friday, maybe next week. But the first thing I want to see here is Amazon rebuild the hourly chart. Now, you got a couple tiny problems I got to address. We've got momentum below 0. Not a big deal, but they got to fix that. We are under the 21. We are under the 50. So all I'm looking for here from Amazon, an hourly close above the hourly 21. So we're looking for 144, 145-ish. If we get the hourly close, then I'm going to jump into the 4-hour squeeze. Probably buy some out the money calls with the thinking the 4-hour squeeze might fire long. And that might wake up the beast over here on the weekly. But if we don't close back above the hourly 21, can't take that trade just yet. So pretty good chance Amazon might be our next entry. And then in the stable, we've got our call debit spreads in Google. And this is perfect, guys. Can't stress enough. When I say something's perfect, It does not mean the trade works. But if I had to sit around and only trade one setup for the rest of my career on one time frame, it'd be this exact setup. I got a big weekly squeeze. It's in a bit of a weekly uptrend. I've got my buy signals. The big three score is 10 out of 10. I got a good entry. She's perfect. She is perfect. So as long as that signal prints, we're looking for 145, 150-ish. And then Tesla here. And I think I mentioned this on Monday. Tesla's not the cleanest. So when Amazon, a Google, a Meta, an NVIDIA, an AMD, a Broadcom, even just the QQQ, they do grade out a little bit better. Right, structure is a little bit better. The signals are a little bit better. I still think there's a good chance here Tesla's going to try to slingshot higher. All right, slingshot higher meaning you get that weekly squeeze printing, and then it all kind of looks like Tesla wants to break short. They take momentum under the zero line. No bueno for the bulls. They take price under the 21 EMA. They take it under the 50, under the 200. In a nutshell, they get that weekly squeeze really, really close to firing short. Really close, but no cigar. Never fire short. They immediately rip it back above the 200. And now they're rebuilding. It's not perfect, but they're rebuilding. I think a pretty good chance we're going to have we'll have our second weekly close back above the weekly 21. 4-hour chart has a buy signal. The 2-hour, the 1 hour, and the 30-minute have a buy signal. And then your daily chart, again, not perfect, but it is in better shape. So I would trade something like a Google. Like everything checks out, everything's fully aligned. I would trade something like that with a little bit more size. But then I think on a name like Tesla, give that trade enough time till expiration. Do something cheap out the money, buy calls, do a call debit spread. It all kind of comes down to the QQQ. So if the QQQ falls apart, you're probably not going to see a big push here for Tesla. But I would imagine QQQ keeps pushing. The Microsofts, the Amazons keep pushing. I think in due time, going out to March, April of next year, we could see this squeeze slingshot right back towards the highs. And that's kind of the pattern across the board right now. Tesla definitely got the closest to firing short. But even on a QQQ, kind of the same song and dance. We get the weekly squeeze. They break momentum. It's getting a little sketchy. They take out the 21 EMA. Right? It's getting a little bit sketchier. Things are starting to look like the squeeze might want to fire short. Right? It's the Bears' best chance. They fumble the ball. Squeeze never fires short. Price goes back above that 21. You're getting all kinds of lower time frame buy signals. You get that momentum shift. All right, there's your slingshot. Print the squeeze, pull it lower, and then boom, right back up she goes. So see how that's taking it back towards the previous highs? That's kind of what I'm thinking could happen for Tesla. Print it, try to break it short, snap it right back up and back towards those highs. So for that kind of idea, again, give it time and do it nice and cheap. If the market pulled back a little bit, something like a Google, that's the kind of setup I can put, 10, 12 plus % of my account into. It's just that good. Tesla's cool, but it's not that good. So I'll take a big boy position in something like Google, and then Tesla, maybe I'm risking, 1 or 2% on some out the money calls. So for y'all in the mastery, what I would like to do and we'll see if the market wants to play along here. So for our current call debit spread, I would like to take profits on a push towards 250, whether that be this week or next week. I'd like to cash out on a push towards 250, take those profits off the table, and then potentially take all of those profits, go out to March or April, and do something cheap up here at 300. All right, something cheap, something with plenty of time till expiration. More importantly, something I'm not going to watch every single day. So that's what I'm thinking for Tesla. And then a few more here for you good people. NVIDIA earnings last night, and it is up a mind-blowing, a scorching $2.40. So if you bought NVIDIA calls yesterday, I don't think you're going to get rich just yet, but check out that weekly squeeze. Right, you might not be rich this morning. Give it a few weeks, you might be in good shape. Actually, selfishly, I'm glad we're not gapping up 10, 15, 20%. Maybe, just maybe, now I've got a chance to try to buy out on a dip here and try to play that weekly squeeze towards higher prices. Again, there's your slingshot. Here comes a squeeze. Down goes momentum. Couple closes under the weekly 21. Not a really good effort from the Bears, but that was their best chance. Back up she goes. So NVIDIA's got a nice weekly squeeze. AMD, I think, has a nice weekly squeeze. That should take it back towards those highs. You've got Broadcom. I'd probably buy Broadcom on a dip. Well, not probably. I would definitely wait for a dip. We have got Meta. Meta's just cruising. We've got Netflix. I think this weekly squeeze takes Netflix towards 490, 500-ish. But like I mentioned on Monday, you can kind of boil all that down to just one setup. That one setup being the weekly squeeze here in the QQQ. All right, if this works, off goes the Qs, squeeze fires long, we're pushing through 400, we're up here at 415, 420. If that is the outcome, and right now the indicator points towards that's probably going to be the outcome. Maybe a little bit of chop first, maybe a little pullback first. But if that is the outcome, then everything I just showed you today and Monday, the Amazon weekly squeeze, the Google weekly squeeze, the Tesla weekly squeeze, NVIDIA, AMD, the Broadcoms, the SMHs, they should all work really, really well. More importantly, down goes QQQ. Down to the point where it no longer looks like that squeeze wants to take out 400. I think you pump the brakes on everything. I'd pump the brakes on Google. I would pump the brakes on everything we just discussed. What we're really trying to trade is this setup right here. If this works, it's going to take everything with it. Off goes the QQQ. You've got Amazon, Google, Microsoft, NVIDIA. They're all going to follow behind. So your entire focus right now should be QQQ first, and then the Googles, then the Amazons, etc. It does not get much better than that, my friends. We could wake up on Friday. We could wake up next Monday, and it could all change. We know that much about trading. You can have the perfect setup, like just the top shelf, perfect signals on Monday. And by Tuesday, it might all disappear, and you're thinking about a whole new game plan. But for now, until one of two things happens. One, all of these weekly buy signals disappear, or two, the squeeze is fired to the upside. Until one of those two things happens, that's For me, at least, my entire focus. We might get this once, maybe twice per year. Got to take advantage of it. So that is what I got for y'all. Let me check the futures here. They're trying. They're trying to go for the break. They're trying. So for y'all in the mastery, and for those of you in the options room, for the futures trading, like all of 2024, we're gonna sit there and wait for nothing but this. Long or short, there's the futures trade. Squeeze in a buy signal. You check your lower time frames. The 30-minute is bullish, 15-minute is bullish, 5-minute is bullish. There's your spot for that. I like doing credit spreads, so that'd be a spot for a nice credit spread. But all right, y'all, let me get caught up in the chat. See if you got any chart requests, any good questions, and then I'm doing the close today. So I'm going to be on the mic in the options room for the last hour and a half, and I'll dual broadcast into the mastery. It may be, I don't know, maybe I'll have a glass of wine with y'all. Just don't tell HR. Yeah, Andrew, I didn't do anything on NVIDIA either. So you and I are in the same boat. Now what I would have done, or what I was thinking about doing, was the 500 put credit spread. Which, I mean, it would have worked. Not waking up to max profit, but it would have worked. Even on Google, which time frame you looking at? And then Peter's got XEL. Nice. So kind of interesting. Show y'all this. Kind of interesting. So here's all the major sectors with the big three score. The weakest sector, the worst sector, is energy. Technology's got a 9 out of 10. Financials, 9 out of 10. Industrials, semiconductors. Energy's the only thing with a negative reading. I say that to say there was a couple of really clean setups in some oddball energy stocks yesterday. Andrew, what did you call out? I think you called out LNG. It's perfect. It really is perfect. Daily squeeze in a buy signal. Y'all ready? You're not ready. Weekly squeeze and a buy signal. 3-day squeeze with a buy signal. A 2-day squeeze and a buy signal. Wait, there's more. A 1 hour and a 15-minute. Buy signals on pretty much every single time frame. So I do think that one's a little bit cleaner than XEL. At least as far as your lower time frames. Everything on LNG is bullish. Where lower time frames wise, everything's kind of neutral here on XEL. But regardless, it's the weakest sector. Just so happens to have some of the the cleanest daily squeezes. And XLE is a really clean daily squeeze. Now, I'm at the point where, and for what it's worth, if I'm going to trade anything outside of my top 10 names, it literally has to look like LNG. If I'm going to break that personal rule of mine, it has to be this good. Like every time frame has a buy signal and a squeeze. But I am at the point where, and we talked about this. This just comes from looking at my track record, right? No biases, no picking favorites. But my track record over the last 10 or 12 years would say I should only swing trade these names. But yeah, LNG's what we would call a top shelf kind of setup. The kind of thing you'd want to take to the prom. All right, I'm going to check out YouTube here. My man Brad. Brad has got some WMB. Check out some WMB. I like it. I like it. Yeah, I've got to like it. If I don't like this, I'm a little bit of a hypocrite. Big 3 buy signal on almost every time frame. Waiting on that 5 minute, but almost every time frame. A squeeze and a buy signal. And I love this for a swing trade. The weekly, the 3-day, the 2-day, and the daily. So the first thing that comes to mind when I see that combo, multiple squeezes across bigger time frames, is Netflix from back in March, April. Same exact setup. Not March, April. I'm sorry, April, May. So on that bar right there, Netflix had a weekly squeeze and a buy signal, a 3-day squeeze and a buy signal, a 2-day, a daily, a 4-hour, a 2-hour, a 1-hour. Like this thing was just squeezing from every which angle. Best part is they all had a buy signal. So first went the hourly squeeze, off it goes. That triggered the 2-hour squeeze to fire long. That triggered the 4-hour. The 4-hour wakes up the daily squeeze. The daily squeeze wakes up the 2-day squeeze. 2-day squeeze wakes up the weekly. And then next thing you know, you look up and Netflix has gone from $320 to $460. And Netflix is not a tiny company. All right, the Googles, the Microsofts, they're big, big, massive companies. That's the only combo I've really seen with consistency that can take a huge name like a Netflix or an Amazon up 10, 20, 30, 40% in a pretty short period. And I wouldn't throw WMB into the the same category as Netflix as far as a market-leading FANG stock kind of thing. But man, as far as a setup, put it this way. If your next 100 swing trades look like this, I believe on my heart, you're going to be in really, really good shape. Good stuff, Brad. Good stuff. Okay, yeah, I thought we were talking about that one. Yep. Jim, you are not getting trade alerts anymore. Well, Jim, that is not good, my friend. So my first piece of advice would be reach out to customer support at Simpler. Maybe there's something going on with your account. Or potentially check the mobile app. If you have an iPhone, go to your settings, go to notification settings, and then make sure notifications for the Simpler trading app are on. But Jim, keep me posted. I got to make sure you're getting these trade alerts, especially with all these weekly squeezes. So if you got to shoot me an email or whatever the case is, keep me posted. We will get you sorted, my friend. Hey, good morning, Terry. What's going on, my brother? Always good seeing you, my friend. And then Maddie. Maddie, you local? Yeah. Yeah, Maddie, watch how many brand new Celtics fans start coming out of the woodworks. Red Sox ain't cutting it. The Pats ain't cutting it, but them Celtics. Too funny, Maddie. You're in Rhode Island, so I'm like 12 minutes from the Massachusetts Rhode Island line. I'm like right in that East Providence, Seekonk kind of area. So happy Thanksgiving there, neighbor. Go Celtics. We got my man Bart, a.k.a. Papa, in the building. Bart, whenever I see a Volkswagen Golf R, I think of you. I hope you're doing good, my friend. All right, guys, a couple more here. Paul's got URI. United Rentals. Not to be confused with University of Rhode Island. So, Paul, this is a bit more on the weekly chart. It's a little bit more of an advanced version of what I think Tesla could become. Meaning this is a little bit further in the slingshot squeeze phase. But same kind of thinking. Squeeze prints. They take down momentum. They're taking out the 21 EMA. They're taking out the 50 SMA. Very much like Tesla. They get the URI weekly squeeze. Like they got that thing walking the plank. Right on the verge of firing short, and then boom. Back above the 50. Back above that 21. So now your structure checks out. Now you're waiting on that ultimate combo. The ultimate combo is good structure and good momentum. So, Paul, looking down here, we are super, super close to a positive cross. You might get it this week. At which point you'll get a weekly buy signal. At which point URI begins to look a lot like Google. And a lot of the other weekly squeezes here. But all right, y'all, I got to hit the road here. We are hosting Thanksgiving here tomorrow, so I got a couple of errands to run, got to pick up a couple of goodies and all that good stuff. But all right, so I'll be back with y'all later today in the options room. And then Mastery members, I'll dual broadcast into the I'll dual broadcast. And then maybe I'll see if I can't dual broadcast into the Essentials room as well. We'll try to make it a party. But regardless, y'all, have a great day. Have an awesome Thanksgiving. Try to spend some time tomorrow away from the charts. Loved ones a little time and attention. Give your dog a little bit more time and attention. And then we're back at it on Friday and back at it on Monday. So thank you very much for all your time, all your effort. I'm really, really thankful to be a part of the Simpler team. Thankful to rock the mic. And thankful to keep myself out of trouble with y'all. So have a good day, have a good Thanksgiving, and I'll talk to you all soon. Adios, pilgrims.